Hi, folks. My name is Wendy, and this is my first official YouTube video. I'm so excited, but I wanted to show my fellow junk journal peeps how I coffee dye paper. I don't have time to bake. I don't have time to soak. I don't have time to, dry it all out on racks. And this is cheap, easy, and quick coffee paper dyeing. So here's some of the papers I've dyed. And this is just regular plain copy paper. I don't know what weight. It's cheap. Got it from Walmart. But I wanted just to show you some of the effects I got with the way I have and dyed it. This is a heavier art media paper that I tried, and I like the darker look. I tore it, so I don't know how I'll use this one. So I just wanted to show you can get lighter effects, and you can crinkle it up, crinkle them up, or iron them with your iron. So here is notebook paper. Now, I've previously done notebook paper and the lines stayed visible. And I guess maybe because this was some of the cheaper stuff I got at the dollar store or what, but of course the lines disappeared and the blue ink mingled and kind of shaded this paper a muddy blue-green. So, because you can tell on the sides here how it just, disappeared. But I figured they can still be used. So, let me show you how I do it. You need instant coffee. I use Taster's Choice. It's cheap. And I just poured some Taster's Choice in my little, plastic container I got from the dollar store. So you need some Taster's Choice or whatever other instant coffee. I don't know how the other instants work, but that's what I use. You need some water. This is just my water jug. And then whatever papers you are going to use that you want to try dyeing. And also you need a drying spot. I have an old towel that I just have, and I just pile up my wet papers on top of each other. And I'll tell you why in a minute. Actually, this is my container that I use, that I just set all my wet papers on top just like this, and they dry overnight. So that gives you an idea. And because I don't have a lot of space. I don't have a lot of workspace, so let's show you what I do. So here I have a stack. There's probably, I don't know, 20 pages here. And what I do is I kind of just spread it out here on my little work area. See, random. Then I'll get my instant coffee and I sprinkle. I like my pages a little darker. I just like that look. But if you want it lighter, you use less. You get your water, whatever. This is no official way to do it. Just a splat. Okay? Just a splat. Use your finger, your hand, and I just smear that little puddle of water throughout. Okay, so I have it's not a lot. So it's not as messy as you would think it is, because I have all these papers layered under it. So so now that I have some spreading going on, so I just keep spreading. Okay, let's say I need a little more, and I just dunk a little more water out, and I just rub it in. And I do the same thing. Sometimes the backside I'll just keep a little lighter, and that's all there is to it. Now, if you want it to be darker, just add a few more little crystals. Like, see, I just do one, and then you can smudge it. Okay, and you can get that smudged look. All right, that's just a little piece. Now, if you want it to crinkle up, get a really crinkled effect, Okay, you see what it does to the paper? And then you get more color definition. So this is all I'm going to do to this. So I just lay it over here and go to the next one. So the one under it is practically done to my way of thinking, but I'll put a little more. I'll put a little bit more. I'll splash just a little bit more water on it just to get some effects going. And I'll flip it over. Here. More. I love instant coffee. It works. And I just lay it on top. This is kind of just like experiment as you go along. You know, it beats having to soak and bake and, you know, and then, you know, I don't know. I don't do the baking thing, so I don't really necessarily know how it works. I just know I don't have time for it. Okay, so if you don't like these little spots that you get, if you just, you know, leave it on, they do rub out. So let's do it this way. And I don't want that spot there either, but I like a little crinkly look. And there's this one. So I'll lay that down. And they're not so dripping wet that, you know, you need to take precautions or anything, because this, you know, I have all this paper under that. I still need to add, I keep having to add water. So I like the way this one looks. And see, and then I just add a few more. Let's do a little. And add more water. Kind of messy with the water, but not messy enough where it's soaking my table even. So I spread it out. And, you know, it's not anything, I mean, if you mess up or tear or whatever, I've torn some of these where they've torn, you know, it's all usable. It's all usable. So it's nothing to fret about. And let's do a couple more since I'm doing it. I like to do this at night, right before I go to bed, because it doesn't take long. And then I lay them out, and they're pretty much dry the next morning. So I'm just like stockpiling papers. I know. We all, like, I need more papers, but... And I like it because when they dry, they still have that crinkly effect. Because you know I love that crinkly effect. And sometimes, and then, you know, when you put them on top of each other, especially like when you leave it like this, it leaves neat effects. So I'll put the rest of my papers in. Oh, I do have a little paper towel because I have a little spot there. Look, that's as much as I've lifted up from my table. Oh, here's another thing I wanted to try. I had this from a potato bag. Let's see. Actually, we'll stick it on top. We'll see how this works. I'm experimenting while I'm doing this. Let's see. Don't know how it'll work, but I'm curious. Well, I don't think that's going to do anything. So maybe if I, you know what, I will leave it in between my wet papers and see if it dries with that impression on. How about that? And then I'll let you guys know. So, oh look, see? Look at this one. I love the darker colors. And then if you get a little bit too much water going on, oops, where's my, those are stick together. I just drip it on the paper down below. So, oh, this is going to be a favorite. It's a little torn, but I like that because when it dries, it stiffens up, you know, and gets crinkly. And they look really good. So, this is the gist of how I coffee dye my papers. So I just use, maybe I want something really light, I'm just using the previous page and, you know, kind of rubbing the dye on that way. And look, I'll squeeze it. And that's about it. I'm going to lay this mostly white one on top of the other one, and it's going to, I'll show you guys. Okay, so I don't know how long my video is, but I wanted to show you. I have 4 pages left, but there's my workspace. It's not wet. Well, I shouldn't say that. I do have a little drop, but that's it. That's from my inking, my distress ink. So it's not messy. You don't get it all over the place. Here's how I lay. This is how they'll sit. They're on my thing. They'll sit here all night, you know, all day and tonight, and they'll dry. And maybe I'll peel them apart and flip them over just so they get different looks. That's it. That is the gist of my coffee dyeing adventure. So let me know if you try it or if you do it differently without the baking. I just can't put papers in an oven. I just can't do it. All right. Well, thanks for watching, and hopefully soon I'll have some other videos. Bye.